Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Coaching World. I got one of my good friends out here, the Marcus Jelks, the head coach of the Stephenson High School, the legendary Stephenson High School. Today, he's going to give you some knowledge about his program, the things he's done, where he's been, and then playing under the legendary Coach Gartrell, and then coming back and being the head coach. And we're lucky to have him. I appreciate him coming on and sharing his knowledge. All right, so Coach, take it away. Give us a little tidbit about what it takes to be the AC at Stevenson and other things that you've done.
Okay. First of all, appreciate you having me on. It's been a good ride, man, up until this point. A career, definitely. Plenty of stories to go along with where I am today. But played at Stephenson High School, so I'm alumni of Stephenson, and when I came out of high school, played for Coach Gartrell, and when I got there, the school had just opened, so I actually had to convince my mom to let me go to public school and play football.
Okay.
I was playing. I was in a private school. I was over there with St. Pius, and then when I became a freshman, they were opening that new school, and she was like, "Oh, it's a new school. I'll let you go over there and play." So I was a freshman when the school opened up, and so contrary to belief, when they opened that school, they combined Reading, Stone Mountain, and Lithonia. They took a little bit from all three of them schools, put them together, and made Stephenson High School. So the first 2 years were off the chain at Stevenson. It was fights every day, SWAT team up all the time.
SWAT team.
Oh my God, it was crazy. Basketball again. We played Stevenson and Lithonia in basketball, and there's helicopters in the air. It was crazy the first couple of years. And so after, I want to say about year 3, it started to calm down a little bit. You know what I mean? Some people got up out of there, and it started to kind of take its own shape and kind of become the Stevenson that it is today. So, getting there year 1, I was a freshman. I got a chance to start because it was, they were just putting that program together, and I was able to come in there and start. So I played varsity football for 4 years, and we, of course, those first 2 years, we had non-region play. So, that first year, very first game, Stephenson High School history, we played Druid Hills and actually won that game off 2 pick sixes. And then after that, we proceeded to lose 9 straight. So we went 1-9 in that first year. But then coming back, off-season program, all those kind of things coming back, we went 7-3 that second year. And then that's when kind of the success began. So we played a schedule junior, senior year, and I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to South Carolina State University, and went up and played ball at South Carolina State. So I didn't get it. I wasn't fortunate enough when I got to South Carolina State, the red shirt. And I say that because my 5th year, they won the championship. So I played the first 4, and then that last year they won the champ. I mean, that 5th year after I left, they won the championship. So there's a way for me to get out of the way, so they can win the championship up there. And so I knew when I was in high school, I knew that I wanted to coach high school football. And so coming out of, I went to college, majored in education. Coming out of college, I knew exactly what it was I wanted to do and coach football. And more specifically, I wanted to coach at Stevenson. And so I got out and came back and went back to Stevenson and coached O-line there for 2 years. Was the O-line coach there at Stevenson. So I got a chance to see, just how stuff would run, on that side of the spectrum, as a coach, seeing how the program is run. So did that for 2 years, and then left and went over to Lithonia, and was at Lithonia, spent 15 years at Lithonia. And so that's kind of where I learned how to be a coach. And I figured a lot of stuff out on my own over there at Lithonia. Coming in, I didn't have a big staff. It was a couple of us. At one point, offensively, I was coaching 11 people. I had the whole offense at one point. And So that experience though at Lithonia was invaluable because I learned so much about myself, about kids, about how to run a program, what work, what don't work. I was able to really cut my teeth there at Lithonia. So we were fortunate enough to get into the playoffs in 2014. And then we, the rest of my time there, we were making the playoffs, but we didn't go much further than the first round. That was it.
At least you got in though.
Yeah.
At least you got in.
We got in, and so the years, once we started to get in, and I started to figure out what worked, what didn't work. I felt real good about what was going on. What one thing that was different, in terms of leaving Lithonia, coming to Stephenson, and I knew this while I was at Lithonia, but the support level. And even though the two schools down the street from each other, the amount of support that you get at Stephenson compared to when I was at Lithonia was unreal. So I want to say the last game I coached at Lithonia, the last game I coached at Lithonia, we ended up going to the playoffs, and I want to say we might have went down to Rome. No, was it Rome? We went down to Rome, and we went down there in the playoffs, and actually, ended up going down there. And we got there, it was no cheerleaders, no band, no parents.
What?
Yeah, no cheerleaders, no band, no parents. We had 3 parents that showed up to the game, wow. and that's all that was on our side of the field. Period. So I just, as a coach, if you want to take this thing serious, you need support. Yeah. And that I think that showed me that, hey, look, my time here is done. I gotta move on and go do something a little bit bigger and better. So, Coach Gartrell retired, and I had a couple of stints where I went over and was an assistant there with him later on, and just kind of saw some of the things that was going on, and that was eye-opening for me as well, because when I got out of college and I went over there and I assisted, compared to when I went back and assisted later on, maybe almost 15 years later, it was a difference. Right. It was a difference. And so in that I got a chance to kind of just see what worked and what didn't work, what we kind of let kind of slip, and some things that we were still harping on. And that helped a lot too. So coming back, and getting the job, it was definitely a great feeling. And I knew, and I had a plan for exactly what I wanted to do. And definitely not easy, because, of course, when you go back to your alma mater, it's a lot of people working there that especially, a place like Stephenson, we got a lot of alumni. There's a lot of guys on the staff that I already knew. Some I brought with me that might have played with me there, that had been in the game. And, you get there, you try to implement this plan. And so, you think everything going to be hunky-dory. You walk the door, everybody your homeboy, but, people got different ideas and different things, different ways they see a program being run. And so in that, man, I think the most important thing was to keep my friendship. I wanted to keep my friendship, and we just kind of had to agree to go different ways if we needed to. Still keep that friendship, but that was the most important part. And then just seeing the guys grow, helping everybody grow, to continue to push the whole brand forward. And I think that's something that all of us kind of had in common. We want to see this thing go in the right direction. And so, some stayed, some left. And so, we still each year just trying to get that perfect balance of what we need on the coaching staff to make sure we're successful. Right. And so it's been good. Year one coming in, and it was right off of COVID. So, COVID happened. Coach Gartrell retires, and honestly, the program, had kind of been down. They had went to the playoffs the previous year. They lost in the first round. Had a big senior class, And those guys had graduated out, and again, COVID happens. Well, they played that first year, that half season. That was the last year that coach was there. So coming in there, it was somewhat depleted. It was depleted, and we had a solid group of young kids, and we just decided to play young, and we said, some talented kids, but we're just young. We started with ninth grader at quarterback on varsity, and we had a lot of ninth graders in a lot of different places. So, originally, or starting that season, it was going well. We started that season out 5-0, and so with young kids, we were 5-0, and then with the problem with being young is that when that ninth grader get hurt, when you think about what's behind that ninth grader, the ninth grader got to start. You look at behind him. If he got to go down, you're in trouble. And that's kind of what happened to us. We started getting hurt and beat up. So we won the 5-0 undefeated, and then we lost the last 4.
Wow.
And then make the playoffs. And so I still felt good about what we had, but missing the playoffs, that's the first time in 24 years. So you get all of the criticism and the backlash. Hey, this ain't gonna work. He ain't gonna be there long, and you hear all that stuff. And but I know we still had, we were in good shape. We just had to get stronger. We had to grow up a little bit. We were gonna be good. So had a good off season after that, and got back healthy, and hit the weight room hard, got them a little bit stronger. And so this past year in 2022 is majority sophomores and juniors on the team. And so everything that happened this past year was, some of it self-inflicted, some of it just, I could definitely write a story on how this season went. Which is, we had a lot go on, but halfway through the season, we getting ready to play for a region championship. And, we undefeated in the region, and we get a social media threats, and we get social media threats, man. And they shut us down. So the week before we get ready to play for the region championship, we got a bye week, so we getting 2 weeks to prepare for this region championship. And that first week, whole team get the flu, and we can't even practice, that whole week. So we kind of just scrap that week, go into the next week, getting ready for this region championship week, and we get the social media threats. And so somebody saying they're gonna blow up the school and that kind of deal. So kids didn't come to school on Monday. Tuesday, some of them started to come back, but parents still didn't feel good about it. Wednesday, they're like, yeah, y'all can go back. We caught the person, y'all good. And so some of them trickle back in. We kind of have half of a practice, a lot of them still miss it. Then Thursday, and then Friday, they changed the game time to 3:00. We ended up playing 3:00 in the afternoon because at the private school we were going to didn't have lights. So we had to go play them 3:00 in the afternoon over there, and then it's their homecoming. And we weren't prepared at all for that game. We hadn't did anything in 2 weeks. So we go there and we lose that game. And so we ended up getting the second seed in the playoffs. But first round, I had to play pace, and the kids fought, man. I was proud of them. We were down 12. With maybe 2 minutes or a minute 40 left in the game.
Right.
And end up coming back and winning the game right there at the end. So that was a huge win. Everybody was kind of on a high. Running back on the team had a really, really good game. So he got a lot of state recognition and everything. And so we going into week 2 to play a Cedartown team that was undefeated, and everybody thinking it's going to win the state championship, and we got to go to Cedartown. And then the day of that game, we leaving. The bus is going to leave at noon. I get some kids that decide they need to go get some snacks, and they skip school, go to Walmart, go get some snacks. But they end up getting in a bad car wreck, man. Terrible.
Oh, man.
Yeah. 5 of them, were in a vehicle, man, and were driving too fast and lost control and hit a tree. And it was 3 of them. It was 3 of the kids following them, but they didn't get in the accident. But those 5 that were in that first vehicle, it was rough. A lot of them were hurt. 2 of them would never play again. One of them was a senior. I mean, it was a bad accident now. And so, the kids hearing about that an hour or so before we were supposed to leave to go down to Cedartown, and then we sitting there trying to figure out how we're gonna go down here and play without 8 starters, and move people around and that kind of deal. It was what it was, going down to Cedartown. We ended up losing that game in the second round. So, if we were healthy, who knows what would happen. That was Cedartown was a great team. They played for a state championship and lost team right there at the end. Lost by a yard. But Cedartown was a really good team, man. They did a good job. And we were able to our season ended then, but who knows what would have happened. We'd have went down there full strength. So now we're getting ready to come back, year 3. And these guys now are seniors and juniors. So we got high expectations for this year and what's gonna happen in this year. So it's a good group. It's looking up, but we got to make some good decisions, man. And we make good decisions and have a good mindset. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I think that's one of the major things in football programs people don't understand, like all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and people like the armchair coach a lot of times, whether good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people don't understand everything that you got to do as a head coach and what's going on. Set them 6 days, and then you show up on Friday. They show up on Friday in the stands or at school on Monday, and you got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So, But yeah, man, it's more than, like my mom used to say, it's more than the notion.
Absolutely. Definitely. It's an all the time thing, not just a Friday night thing. That's what everybody see Friday night, but we'll go on from Saturday morning to Thursday night, or really Friday before kickoff.
Right, exactly.
It's really what kind of helps you be successful, unless the kind of program that you're running and everything. So, but there's a lot that goes with it, man.
Right, and I think Stephenson, man, I remember y'all always had great athletes, and I remember it was a run. Y'all had a run that way. Y'all was. Woo! I don't think anybody wanted to play Stephenson.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted. And I think you were your classmate was the foundation of that, though. I mean, it was a time where, and I mean, y'all still are. It was a time where I was like, they got how many? What?
Yeah.
Shoot, y'all were cranking out 20 college football players a year.
Yeah.
Dude, that started with you though. Your senior year, how many people did you sign? I know we got
my senior year, we only had 6.
Okay.
But it was the first time that we had kind of multiple guys starting to go off, to D1 schools. So it kind of trended up from there. Our class with 6 guys was the low end. I don't think after that year, it was a long time. I want to say it might be when I got here before they had only 6 people signed that first year. But for us. But it had been a long time. Everything else was more than that.
One time I had like 20 a year or something like that.
Yeah. One year, I want to say the best year that we had, it was 30 guys. 30, the whole class signed.
What?
Yeah, the whole class signed.
You're playing some football, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the whole class. And I think, one thing that even from that, I was able to take away and learn from those days was, like, you can have all of the athletes in the world. If they're not playing together, if they're not out there to play for each other, you're not going to put a ring on, man. It's got to be more than about, me. What's my stats? What did I do? And I think about them games that the times we made it to the Dome in the semifinals, lost to Lowndes one year, 12-6 or something like that. But it was a game where close game, man. The whole game, and you get one linebacker to move out the way, that fullback, from Lowndes when they were running that wing T.
Oh yeah.
Out the way, man, and you in trouble.
Right.
And you in trouble. So yeah, it's it's been a lot of athletes here, but it's nothing better than that Cedartown team past year. The thing you kept hearing about them was, man, them kids been playing together since they were 5. That's all you hear is they've been playing together for a long time. Right. And some good athletic ability and guys playing for each other. That's gonna give you your best shot at winning it all.
Right.
Yeah, regardless of, I ain't gonna say regardless of your talent level, because talent is a big part of it, but that mindset, man, is huge. And having success with your team, they gotta be playing together.
And that I think that's gonna be another topic too. Like they got a little bit of an advantage sometimes where, like you said, those kids are together in a certain area.
Mm-hmm.
Year after year, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna get into it right now, but
yeah. On
that's
top of that, you in a place like Cedartown, so them kids growing up in Cedartown. Now it's not 12 schools they can choose from within a 20-mile radius.
Right. Yeah, in different counties, but we'll say that for later.
Yeah.
We'll say that for later. All right, Coach, you got some you want to share?
Yeah, I'm gonna just talk about our schedule, 12-month schedule. What we kind of do year round, month by month. Let me.
Okay, this is good stuff, right?
Yes. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, just a monthly program outline here. Starting from January with just some of the things you can be working on to help your program move year round. So I broke it down by months, like I'm saying, and in January right here, of course, you're gonna have your staff meeting and team meetings, individual meetings. One thing I do, and one of the coaches said that it's one of the best things I did since I came back to Stephenson. But when the season ends, we do end of the year meetings, and I do it with the coaches, but I also do it with the players and the parents. So I have every single player and a parent sign up to come meet with me for a 30-minute meeting after the season ends, just so we could talk about their goal, what their goal is, what their expectation is. We can look at their grades and their academics, and that way we can have realistic conversations about where they're going and what's the deal for after high school. But it's a good way for me to tell that kid and that parent, you're not going to Georgia, if you're barely eligible, or you got a 1.8 GPA, like we need to start looking at JUCOs, or we need to figure out if this is what you're trying to do on the next level, because a lot of them don't understand college or school, and so you got to do your work. And so in January, we handle those kind of meetings. Of course, I meet with the coaches the same way, and we talk about those things, and we set up a plan for the whole year in January. So we also have your recruiting fairs going on, and trying to push those seniors on to the next level, and getting ready for signing day in January. So then with February, we starting our weight training back, and normally we get started right after MLK with working out and weight training. So we do morning workouts in the off season or in the winter, because I want those guys playing other sports, and I don't want, after school, I don't want to try to pull them away from their other sport that they're playing in the off season. So we get them up in the morning and we lift before school. What time?
What time they lift in the morning?
They get there at 5:30, and so we start about 5:40. We start at 5:45 and we go to 7:15.
Okay.
So we kind of split them up into groups, and we'll have a weight room session. We'll have like a a session where they're doing push-ups, calisthenics, and then we have a plyometric session where they're doing drills and agilities. You know, whether we're in the gym or we outside. And so we go till 7:15, and you know, guys shower after that and get ready for class.
Right.
They shower, get ready for class, and then they off to their day. So we only do it 3 days a week.
Okay.
But chance just for us to have everything, and we don't, you know, if a guy's running track or they got a baseball game or anything like that, we still make them come, but they might not compete in everything. And we, you know what I'm saying, we don't want to mess them up for the game they might have that day, but it's good because we get to see everybody all year long. You know, we seeing them, talking to them, making sure they're good academically and everything else.
Right.
Yeah. And so in February, though, so we got National Signing Day. We do signing day, and then we get into our leadership meeting. So we kind of start determining who those leaders are going to be for the next year. And I give the kids some input on that, just saying who they going to follow and who they feel like their leaders should be. And then as a coaching staff, you know, we kind of select our guys too, and then we kind of put that together to create what we call the leadership council. And so that leadership council will kind of be at the forefront of some of the decisions that are made, you know, for the team throughout. Now they also going to do the grunt work with, you know, being punished if stuff ain't right, and, you know, doing things like making sure their locker room clean and, you know, delegating some of those things to their teammates. But that leadership council, it's a big deal. Right. And so so then we also start trying to get sponsorships and things like that, because, you know, being in DeKalb County, we don't have no money. So we got to find the best way to make some money.
I say, I know the feeling.
Yeah. Find the best way, man, to make some money, man, for the season. And so moving into March, same kind of thing. We lifting weights. We, you know, we still meeting. We having our leadership meetings. We starting to meet with some of those key positions, and just making sure that they gelling together and kind of becoming one. We usually do glazier clinics and, you know, did different clinics to see how we can become better across all aspects of the program. And then you know, we still doing our fundraiser and sponsorship type thing. Right. So then moving into April, we getting closer to spring ball. You got spring break in April, so April is really 3 weeks long, but it's a big fundraising month for us in April. And so, you know, we try to fundraise, but then we also do our team registration and dues and things of that sort. And we getting ready to get started with spring ball in April. So then when we hit May, spring ball is starting, and you know, we getting ready for our spring game, and you know, so we handle the spring in May. And then once that spring game is over with, you get a week. It's another dead week in there now from GHSA. Oh yeah, that last week of May. And so after the spring game, you know, we kind of give them a little bit of rest, you know, and time. They can vacation. It's always important to me to let parents know when is the best time for them to take a vacation. And I can, and we definitely got some horror stories with that. I can tell you. I want to say the last 2016 at Stephenson, we went to the semifinals, and we had to play Valdosta in the semifinals, and we went down to Valdosta. The week of that game, 3 starters missed the game because 2 of them went on a cruise, and one of them had a death in the family, so they went out of town. But two of their parents had scheduled a cruise that week because they figured the season would be over with. Right. And they ended up going on the cruise. So you go to the state semifinal game without 3 of your better players. Right. So I was like, yeah, we got to start having a plan for this. So, you know, putting the calendar out, making sure they understand the importance of that. Don't schedule nothing until the season over with. You know, it goes a lot. I mean, it goes a long way, and just trying to get your parents to understand the expectations that you have for the team. Right. And and getting them to schedule those at the right time. So that period in May, from the spring game all the way up to that first Monday in June, great time for them to go on vacations.
And exactly.
Go see grandma, all of that. And so when we get to June, full swing of the summer, and we weight training, we meeting, we going to camps, we doing OTAs, 7-on-7s, things of that sort. Still fundraising as well. And so I know, like, for the first time this year, we gonna do a golf tournament in June. This is gonna be a big deal, and hopefully something that'll be annual. But June, we really hitting it. And then July, same thing. But we always do a youth camp. So we want to do something to pour back into the community and just get people excited about what it is that you're doing. So we have a free youth camp for the middle school kids and the elementary kids to come up there and run around, and we just have our kids running. We give them an outline, but we let the kids take them through the drills that the kids do every day.
Oh, so your players running the camp?
Yep. My players are running that camp, and so they take the kids outside, take them through our stretch. Go through individual, do some kind of competition or something. Let the kids compete against each other, be real excited about it, and then at the end we'll give out our little awards for the camp and put some hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill, let them eat, and and get out of there. And then we also, at the same time, so while the kids are doing that, we'll have the coaches. We'll do a coaching clinic for the youth, the park coaches and the middle school coaches up top. So a couple of us will be running the coaching clinic, and we'll have some coaches down there with the kids running the actual camp. So it's always a good deal, man. 2 hours, like a little 2 hours. They go out there in the morning, run around, and they get some food, and they feeling good about themselves and your program when they leave from there. So so that's July. And then August, you're getting ready for the season. Usually that second week of August, you got your scrimmage, your fall scrimmage, and then you on into the season. And so you got, before you get to your scrimmage, you got the team camp, things of that sort. Just making sure you're ready for the season. And then then when you get to August and September through November, you in the season. And you ending it with region meetings and recruiting fairs and that kind of deal in December. So that's the year-round thing that we kind of do to make sure that we keeping those guys engaged throughout the year.
Because that's definitely, I'm pretty sure somebody gonna look at this and borrow. We always borrowing from coach.
Yeah.
So somebody gonna borrow some of that stuff. I heard people talk about the youth camps and the coach camp, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody do a player run youth camp. I think I've seen some people with some of their kids out there, but I think of course it's like usually the coaches that run it. But so that's a good idea, man. If I was trying to be a head coach again, I may borrow that myself.
You done, man?
I think I'm done, man. Anybody out there listening, I ain't gonna say it. But yeah, I think somebody's gonna borrow that, man. And that parent, that you hit a good point. That parent, we a lot of people do individual meetings with players and coaches, but I don't think I ever seen nobody do. You bring your parent in here individual meeting too.
Yeah. We need to have a conversation face to face.
That's key right there, because then I'm pretty sure you, me, and every other football coach in the United States can give you that. At the end of Johnny's senior year, they got something to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Food ahead of time, hey. And then, coach, I'm gonna end with this, man. A lot of people don't understand reality. Like what you're doing with that parent, you bring some reality to the table.
Bring the reality to the table, yeah.
Because you got people, and somebody probably gonna see that's cool. You got people that either unrealistic about their ability or unrealistic about their grades.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then if your son, my son's 6'5", 320.
Mm-hmm.
He going D2.
Mm-hmm.
If your son is For various reasons, he's going D2, not because of grades, but if your son 5'5", 300,
yeah.
or
You're
if your son,
not going to the SEC.
or if your son is 5'7", 160, or 5'4", 175.
Yeah, it's tough, and so you want to be realistic as early as possible, because when they young, they're in 9th and 10th grade, you still got a shot. But I think the biggest thing, the biggest point that I make when it comes to the dream schools, and I come in, hey man, what you trying to do? Where you want to go? What's your dream school? Where you want to go? Oh, I want to go to Ohio State. Okay, cool. So what are you doing to get ready to go to Ohio State? Look at Ohio State roster at their running back. Look at their running back and compare his height and weight to your height and weight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at his skill set and look at your skill set. Now you still got some time to work on it and get there. This is where you need to be. So another huge point of emphasis in which I was talking about wanting the kids to play other sports. And I really don't care what sport it is, as long as you continue to train for football. I want you to train for football, but go play another sport. But a big topic was baseball, a sport like baseball. So a lot of sports, any sport that you want to be great in, you got to put a lot of time into it. You got to work on it, that kind of deal. Right. But when you start talking to juniors and seniors, and they're like, I play baseball. And I'm like, well, are you good in baseball? Like, what's your goal, first of all? And they say, well, I want to go play football at Ohio State. Okay, cool. So how is baseball helping you become a football player? How is that helping you get to Ohio State as a football player? And so if you're not hitting that ball over the fence in baseball, and I like baseball, I want you to go play, but like, how good are you? Are they coming down there clocking how fast you throwing that ball? If that's not happening by your junior year, or you're not playing out at East Cobb somewhere, they travel circuit.
Right.
You're wasting your time. Get on the track. You need to be doing things that's gonna help you get to where your goal is. If you're trying to play college football, you got to be on the track, man. You need to be getting faster. You need to be training, and it's pretty much just recreation for you if that's what you're doing, or do both. Try to run track and play baseball. But it's and I got some kids who will tell me, like, I got a kid now who will tell me, because baseball is my main sport. Like, baseball is what I do. I do football, because I like the sport and I'm good at it. But baseball is my main thing, and I'm like, good. That's cool. He plays travel baseball. I know sometimes I'm not gonna see him in the summer because he on the circuit playing baseball. He'll come back in August and he'll be a good football player and he'll be ready to roll. But we know early on where his loyalties lie. Correct. He's a baseball player. So come senior year, I'm not gonna get blindsided with, hey, coach, I was trying to go to the SEC and you trying to go to the MLB.
Right.
You know what I mean? But just being realistic about what the expectations are and what you need grade-wise to go on to school and to be able to play at that level. So just giving them some realistic expectations. And then when you become, you get to that junior and that senior year, you can start having them go to see some of these places and look at some of the athletes.
Right.
Yes, okay. So I always make sure that, hey, go see a D1 school. Go out there and go visit Georgia. Exactly. Then go visit West Georgia.
Right.
Then go visit. Then go down to Point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then see where you fit in that. Where does it look like you can play and be successful?
That's a good point, Coach. That's a good point, because I'm gonna end with this.
Okay.
You had a kid that was, and I hope he watched, because I care less. I hope he see this. He was 5'5", 170. 4 years, we graduate, bunch of kids. They weren't great players, but they bought into the system. Anyway, long story short, this kid, he had a family member playing at one school that was going D1. I ain't gonna name the school or the kid. He decided he was just as good as his family member. Well, he wasn't. He ended up transferring because we weren't helping him. Okay, he wasn't going D1. So to your point, you know what I mean? But that's I think that's one of the big takeaways, man, bring their parents in on it. So let me ask you this and I'm gonna stop. If a kid don't bring a parent in, what do you do?
Try to reschedule it. I'm real intentional about it. So sometimes I have a parent try to show up without the kid.
Oh no.
Now we need to reschedule. Bring the kid in here, and I need your parent here. So if we miss them, and I can tell you this because I'm not 100% successful with that, but we do it, and everybody sign up, and I mention it to the kid from time to time, like, hey, I ain't seen your parent. I didn't talk to everybody. I ain't seen your parent. I call the parent, hey, when can we get together and talk? Yeah. Now, if I'm not successful in getting that parent to come in, to meet with us, you're definitely gonna remember it because it's not a lot of them. And then it's gonna come a point in time when that parent want to talk to you. and look, I made myself available to talk to you. You chose not to come meet with me. So later on, now I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna meet with you, but later on, it's not gonna be the priority. It might not be the priority. I'm busy in August and September. You know what I mean? When we got the season rolling, it's too late then. I was trying to meet with you in January. So that we can put all of this on the table and help everybody be successful and make sure that we all thinking the same way. And
that's a golden nugget right there, man. Like I said, if I ever become a head coach again, I'm definitely gonna use that. Those of you out there sitting around listening, no, I'm just joking. All right, Coach, man, I appreciate your time, man. It's been great. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach back out to you about some other stuff, man, in the future. But I really appreciate you, man. That knowledge you shared was great, man. And hopefully, I know somebody's gonna use it. And anything you want to leave with that legendary Stephenson High School wisdom.
And hey man, just keep coaching these kids up, man, out there. I know this is a defensive platform.
Yeah, let you offensive guy come on here now.
Yeah. So offensive guys trying to, defensive guys, man, trying to get that golden nugget. But it's I would say, you had a program somewhere. It's definitely about more than the X's and O's, and you can X and O somebody to death, But if you don't have the heart and the mind of that kid, it's not gonna work. Oh, I got another story, Coach, but I know we out of time.
Yeah, man. I'm like I said, I got some other stuff I'm trying to get ready in the future. But all right, man. Until next time, man. I appreciate it, man. Hope everybody's doing well. Good luck this season, man.
Absolutely, man. Same to you.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.